Hello everybody, I just want to welcome you to this next part of my morning routine series. Now, as you know, the thing of the moment that everybody's talking about is everybody's startup routine or their morning routine, and what is it that gets us up and going and up and running in the morning. And I'm giving this to you so that you can see the various parts of the way that I get going in the morning and so on. Now, I'm not giving it to you in chronological order because I sort of want to deal with the bigger parts first so you can get your head around that and see how all of that actually works out. So yesterday I made a really good video. Well, I say a good video, I hope it was a useful video for you on the first thing I do when I first wake up. So that is sort of the chronological part, which was all about when I first wake up, the first thing I do is just go through my gratitude practices. So you can check back on the video for that because it's a really important part of the day. First thing I do in the morning and the last thing I do at night. And the reason for that is because of the way that it provokes a positive neuropatterning in our brains. And the more that we do gratitude practices, the more that we find that we are able to express happiness and positive emotions. Now, the next thing that I'm coming on to today is cold showers. Yes, and you can see I'm really wrapped up, got my woolly jumper on and I've got my scarf on because I did my walk today along the blustery seafront, and my goodness, it's really cold out there. But nevertheless, despite the fact it's really cold at the moment, I did actually have my cold shower this morning, and it's something I do every day. And today I want to tell you exactly why I do that. And also, if you stick with me right to the very end, I'm going to tell you exactly how to do it, because there are certain things that you need to know. Obviously, you need to know how to do a cold shower. And also, there are a couple of just safety things that I want to make sure that you do know about. So I'm keeping that to the very end because it's the last thing I want you to go away with and to really make sure you remember. Okay, so first of all, a while back, this is how it all came about. A while back, I was lucky enough to go and do a training with Wim Hof. He's also known as the Iceman. Now, if you know of Wim Hof, you'll know that he's this most extraordinary man who truly has just this amazing ability, almost superhuman ability, to actually do these feats of human endurance. So whether Wim is climbing up Mount Kilimanjaro in his shorts and sandals, or whether he's swimming under ice for yards and meters, or whether he's enduring ridiculously hot conditions, or going without food for long periods of time, that sort of thing. He seems to be doing superhuman feats. But the really interesting thing about Wim is that he explains that it's all about preparation and mindset and doing certain exercises that increase our resilience, which increases our ability to actually be able to do these things. And he says, and actually the research shows, because he's all about the research. If you go to his website, you'll see that everything he does is completely fully researched. He says that actually we can all do everything that he does and more. So he's a really fascinating guy, and I do recommend checking him out. So one of the things that I had to do when I went on his training course was I had to get into an inflatable swimming paddling pool. Well, no, actually, no, it's a swimming pool. It was deeper than a paddling pool. So we were submerged up to our necks, completely submerged in ice water. And it was, I think it was March, so it certainly wasn't a warm day. So it wasn't as if we could look forward to getting out and thinking, oh, we can bask in the sun now. Nothing as good as that. But, you know, it was really interesting experience. Your first thing that you think that you need to do, in fact, your instinct takes over. There's no thinking involved. Your instinct takes over and you just want to scramble out of there as quickly as possible. But then after a while, your brain takes over and you start to realize, actually, as long as I keep breathing and as long as I concentrate on the warmth inside me, I know I'll be okay. And also there was the comforting feeling of Wim and his assistants being around who would have pulled you out if necessary, if things got too much for you. So I managed to stay in for a good few minutes, and then we eventually got out and we did some Qigong exercises to increase our inner fire, as Wim describes it, by doing these wonderful Qigong exercises, again, that you'll see if you sign up for his trainings and so on. But what I want to do is to talk to you first of all about why cold showers and cold exposure is so incredibly good for us. It does the most extraordinary things for us. It boosts health in every respect. It burns fat, improves concentration, improves resilience, and so much more. So stick with me and I'll explain exactly how this works. So first of all, one of the first things that you'll notice when you start taking cold showers on a daily basis is that your stress levels are dramatically improved. Now, regularly taking cold showers imposes small amounts of stress on our bodies, and this leads to resilience, which means that ultimately our nervous system becomes better equipped in handling moderate levels of stress. In turn, this helps you to stay cool and respond more appropriately when you're faced with a stressful situation, rather than becoming panicked, over anxious, or fearful. The next thing that cold exposure and cold showers, for example, is, obviously when I say cold exposure, you could go swimming in the sea. I have friends who swim in the sea every day, and they claim it's the only way that they can stay fit and well. Some of these friends are first responders. One of my friends is an incredible woman who is the head nurse at the local walk-in medical clinic, and she's exposed to everything that you might imagine every day. And again, she credits this with swimming in the sea every day, keeping her healthy and well and sane under the circumstances, particularly during COVID, which you can imagine is just absolutely grim. So this resilience that it builds in is just incredible and not to be underestimated. If you're not going to go and jump in the sea, and I really don't recommend doing that unless you are an incredibly strong swimmer, cold showers are the next best thing. So what else does cold exposure do for you? It actually increases your levels of alertness. It gives you higher levels of alertness. Cold showers wake you and your body up, and this leads to greater levels of alertness overall. When we're exposed to cold, it causes us to take deeper breaths. Now, this in turn decreases our carbon dioxide levels throughout our body, which then has the flip side or flip effect of improving oxygenation. And this helps us to concentrate better. Now, I personally find that cold showers dramatically improve my ability to concentrate and focus throughout the day. I also find, as a result, I'm getting more done in the day in less time, which is, that's just anecdotal. That's just my experience. But I want to tell you about it so that you know really what's going on and what's happening in the real world, so to speak. The next thing we need to think about is that cold exposure increases our immune modulation. Now, what I mean by that is it improves the way that our immune systems function. Scientific studies, and quoted by Wim Hof, have found that cold showers increase our white blood cell count. Now, these blood cells protect our bodies against disease. So why could it be that cold exposure improves our white blood cell count? Well, the research seems to show that cold showers increase our metabolic rate, and this in turn stimulates our immune response. Now, interestingly enough, a lot of people run away and they talk about boosting the immune system and so on. Now, clearly, that's just a term that's used by people, but it's such a troubling term to me because, I have an autoimmune condition. I have rheumatoid arthritis, which incidentally, Wim Hof and his colleagues are studying at the moment and finding that cold exposure and his breathing techniques and so on is actually helping to modulate the immune systems of people with rheumatoid arthritis. And they're running a major study at the moment to discover exactly how it works. But you see, the thing is that, when people talk about boosting the immune system, if you've got an autoimmune issue, what's happening is your immune system is over-regulating and actually attacking the body. You know, it's seeing the body as a foreign object and it's attacking us. So we don't want to boost that immune system, because actually it would take us out. It would be a really, really bad thing to do. It's why I have this issue with the terminology boosting the immune system. And I prefer the terminology immune modulation, which to me implies that it enables our immune systems to behave in a more appropriate health supporting fashion. So I hope that sort of helps to sort of clear up some of the terminologies and some of the myths around the boosting of the immune system, which I don't like. So what else do cold showers do for us? Well, they actually increase our willpower, unsurprisingly. Let's face it, cold showers are not the most appealing idea, especially in the depths of winter. And it takes a very strong mind to endure the cold for extended periods of time. However, if you incorporate cold showers into your daily routine, you're boosting your willpower. And this in turn benefits many other aspects of our daily life, such as being able to adhere to exercise regimes, being able to make healthy food choices, and to stick to good sleep routines, all of which, as you'll totally appreciate, underpin overall health and well-being, mentally, emotionally, physically, and even spiritually. So this is something that cold exposure really benefits us with. Willpower is not something we're born with. Willpower is something that we have to develop. And if you can persuade yourself to get yourself into a cold shower, that's something that really does enhance your willpower dramatically. So another thing that is really very interesting is that cold exposure enhances and improves weight loss. So why would that be? Well, research has shown that cold exposure, including cold showers, stimulates the production of brown fat. It's a special type of adipose tissue, fat tissue, that generates energy by burning calories. Cold showers are an effective tool for people who are looking to lose a few pounds, and the effect is cumulative. So it's not going to work if you just have a one-off cold shower. Great, that's fine. It's going to do all sorts of things for you, like helping you to focus, improving your willpower, and so on and so forth. But when you are using cold exposure for weight loss benefits, you've got to keep at it. And at the end, I'm going to explain to you how to make it slightly easier on yourself so you can integrate these tips and techniques for yourself. But it really does have a cumulative effect. And the research does show that cold exposure does lead to enhanced weight loss, even if you don't change anything else, even if you don't change what you're eating and you don't change the amount of exercise you're doing. This has actually been shown in research studies. So finally, let me get on to explaining how to take cold showers, or at least how I do it. And the way that I do it was actually something that I learned on Wim's training course. So first of all, what I do is to jump in the shower in the morning, and I have a normal shower, a warm shower, do my ablutions, get myself clean, and so on. And then when I'm all lovely and clean, what I'll then do is I'll turn the cold tap up and I will turn the warm tap down. So it reduces the temperature to a cool shower. Not a freezing cold shower, but a cool shower. And I'll start at my feet and I start to work up my body, and I get myself a little bit used to that. And then I will then again turn the cold tap up and the warm tap down to really get it even colder. So you then go from your feet up your body, on your back, because around the back and the back of the neck and the shoulders is where that brown fat sits predominantly. So you want to make sure you're getting cold on that area, because it increases that production of the fat, of the weight loss in sort of involved brown fat, brown adipose tissue. Now, here's the thing. If you're in the Northern Hemisphere, you can then pretty much guarantee that if you've got water coming off the mains, it's really cold. So again, flip your cold tap up, see if you can turn your warm tap off completely, so you've got really cold water coming off the mains, starting with your feet, going up your body, and that's when you'll be used to it by now, so it doesn't come as a terrible, terrible shock to you. So you can actually quite happily start to, I mean, bizarre, it does sound really weird, you're going to think I'm a total masochist, but I promise I'm not. You can actually start to enjoy the invigorating sensation of all of this cold. It actually starts to feel really kind of, wow, you know, it wakes you up. It's like, oh, this is really it's quite exciting, actually. I know it sounds weird to say, because I think I'm a complete freak. But anyway, no, but it is really, there's something really, really rather nice about it. But here's the thing, for safety, you can splash your face, but you mustn't immerse your head under the very cold water. The reason is because when you're taking a warm shower, a cold shower, sometimes some people actually go from warm to cold to warm to cold to warm again, and you know, back and forth. And there's a reason for doing that. It's quite good to do that in many ways, because what then happens is you're getting a vascular exercise where you're getting vascular opening when you're having the warmth exposure, and vascular contraction when you've got the cold exposure. And so what happens is blood's being forced from your extremities into your internal organs and then back out again when you start to revert back to the warm. So that in itself is actually very, very good for your vascular system. But the problem is, if you submerge your head under really cold water, it can cause dizziness. And the last thing you want to do is to pass out in the shower, for obvious reasons. So just make sure, please, that you don't submerge your head under very, very cold water, because it could lead to fainting. So that's just my one caveat. And again, that information comes from the Iceman Wim Hof himself. So, you know, it's not just me making it up as I go along. That's coming from the man himself. So that's pretty much it for the time being. I finish off, just to give you my finishing routine. If I have time, I will finish with the cold exposure. I will then get out of the shower, dry off. I've got a really, really rough towel. I've actually got a towel that I've just washed, and I didn't use any kind of lovely fabric softener or anything like that with it. It's really old, rough towel, and it acts as this it's incredibly absorbent because it's rough. And then secondly, it acts as a sort of a real kind of invigorating scrub for the body. So I dry off with that. And then, because I've had the cold exposure, I will then do a Qigong exercise. And again, you can actually find this on Wim's site. I don't want to teach it right now because it's not really appropriate right now, and it will take another half hour to teach you, and I don't want to take up too much of your time. But if I don't have time to do the Qigong exercise to get my inner fire, my inner qi really invigorated and warm my body from the inside out, I will finish off by flipping the warm tap back on and warming the water up again, and just finish off my body with a warm shower. And then I can jump out, towel off, moisturize, whatever else I do, and get on with my day. And then I can run literally and just get on with my day and get to work and so on. So I do hope that's helpful. As always, please subscribe. Please let me know if there are any questions that you have, or if anything needs to be elaborated on, if you've got any points that you want me to particularly address. I'm always happy to do so. Always, please leave me notes of any other topics that you'd like me to cover. And then in the next few days, I'm going to also be bringing you other videos about other parts of my morning startup routine, because honestly, I am massively productive. Most people say to me, how can you get so much work done in a day? And I'll be honest with you, I'm not special in any way at all. All that happens is that I have a very organized morning startup routine, which sets me up for the day. And because I do these various things, and because I drink a particular type of green tea in the morning, and because I do a particular type of meditation, because I have these cold showers, because I do my gratitude practices and more that I'll be telling you about and sharing with you in future videos coming up soon, it just enables me to get a lot of stuff done very, very quickly and in a very focused way. Tomorrow I'm going to be bringing you a video on the type of green tea that I drink and why I have that before I do my meditation, which sounds totally counterintuitive, but there's a reason, and it's based on science. Okay, I'm going to leave you there. Thank you so much for being with me today. As always, let me know if there's anything else that I can help you with. Take care. Lots of love to you all. Bye.